whatever we did, that has been wiped off. So I've started again the reconfiguring one of the company codes for the asset accounting. So we'll see that, and then we'll start the asset accounting configuration. So SPA financial. So the new company code which I've created is T600. Let me just open it. Yeah. And for that, I have defined three currencies: INR, Euro, and USD, and the same accounting principle here. And similarly, I've defined. I've defined two accounting principle, one for our US GAAP and one for our Indian GAAP. For the same company code, the same settings which we did for the earlier company codes. Since the data has been wiped off, I've created a new company code. So 0L, if I go to company code settings, and if I give T600, so I have three currencies: INR, Euro, and USD. INR, Euro, and USD. 40. And the posting period and the fiscal year variants are T100, TX, and T200. So I've given the same thing, TX and T200. And for our local accounting ones, I've created one more non-leading ledger. If I go back here and if I click on T9, and if I go to company code accounting settings, the same thing, the same currencies are there. And if I go to accounting principle, I've assigned T100. For this one, I've assigned T100, and for my leading ledger, I've assigned T200. So the same settings. So these settings I've done it, and I've not done any other things. So we'll start with the asset accounting part. So asset accounting, we just started it, but we'll do a quick recap. So asset accounting is nothing but this submodule. This asset accounting is again a part of our FICO. This module used to compute the depreciation, that is whatever the fixed assets we have, like buildings, plant, machinery. So we have to compute the depreciation. That is depreciation is nothing but the normal wear and tear. That is whenever we use assets, we have to compute the depreciation. So for this we have to define our depreciation key. So and we'll be using this asset accounting module, fixed assets module, to compute the depreciation. Whenever you're buying an asset or creating an asset, we'll be using this asset accounting module. So that is another brief background. So the first step that is involved in asset accounting is chart of depreciation. So go to financial accounting, asset accounting, organizational structure, copy reference chart of depreciation. So here we only can copy. We don't have an option to create a chart of depreciation. So always you have to copy an existing chart of depreciation and create a new chart of depreciation. So chart of depreciations are always defined at the country level. So what SAP has given is that they have given a list of depreciation area for each of the countries, and based on that you can copy and create your own chart of depreciation. So what I did is yesterday, to check whether the settings are working or not, I've created one depreciation area. I will delete that, but I will just show you before we'll redo that configuration. So I've just copied it and I've created one depreciation area. Just remember in S4HANA, based on your currencies, that is we are using three currencies, based on your currencies and your accounting principles. So based on these two combinations, you have to define the number of the depreciation areas. That is, if your currencies are 3, in our case our currencies are 3 and accounting principles are 2, that is T100 and T200. So 3 into 2, 6. So we have to define 6 accounting principles. That is one for in each of the currencies. That is as per IFRS, book in local currency. As per IFRS, the values in group currency. As per IFRS, the values in hard currency. Local currency is 10, group currency is 30, and my IFRS hard currency is 40. So that's the reason I've defined 3 depreciation areas for accounting principle T200. Similarly for T100, that is for my Indian GAAP, that is as per my, as when I were to show my depreciation as per my Indian GAAP, I've created again 3 currencies, 3 depreciation areas. That is one for local currency, one for your group currency, and one for your hard currency. And yeah, so this is the one what I did. I will just delete this and then I will redo the configuration again. How to create a chart of depreciation from the scratch. So similarly, just remember in S4HANA, based on your currencies and based on your accounting principles, you have to create a number of depreciation areas. That is, if you have 3 currencies and two accounting principles, 3 into 2 is 6. That is, so we will have 6 depreciation areas. And what is a depreciation area? Depreciation is nothing but we'll specify how the values how the depreciation has to compute for each depreciation area. So so we specify that we'll create depreciation keys. Keys are nothing but where we specify how the depreciation will be calculated. We'll see it later. So for each depreciation we specify how the depreciation has to be computed. So we'll have a different depreciation key in IFRS GAAP, and when we'll have a different depreciation key in Indian GAAP. So we'll see how the depreciation will be computed in each of this as per each of these accounting gaps. So I'll just delete this and I'll create a new one. So we'll see how we can do that. So let me delete depreciation areas. I will delete this one and I will create a new one. 3, 4, delete, save. Let's go back one step. So the assignment I did, I removed it. So the first step is copy reference chart of depreciation. So come here, click on this copy reference chart of depreciation. Click on this copy icon from chart of depreciation. So give the chart of depreciation from which you want to copy. So if you click on this, it will give you this all sample chart of depreciation, whatever you see. These are the ones which are given by SAP. You can use any of this and you can create your own chart of depreciation. So for our settings, I will take this 0DE, that is the chart of depreciation for Germany, and I will give chart of depreciation as T700. You can give any 4-digit character. It's not that you have to give the same. Since I've deleted T600, that was my company code number, I'm using T700 now. So just click on this, say continue. It will ask you, do you want to delete this transport number? Just click on no and just say click on continue. So once you have done this step, you have just copied it. Just go back one step, click on this copy delete depreciation areas, give your chart of depreciation which we just created it. You will find these many are the ones. So we don't want these all. So what I will do, I will just delete these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Click on this deletion icon. Click on save. Click on yes. It's telling us you want to delete it. So I'm saying yes, I want to delete this depreciation area. So what I will do, I'm just creating the first depreciation area, that is book depreciation in local currency and as per IFRS GAAP. First we'll do the IFRS and then we'll do the local GAAP. So give the I'm specifying that depreciation area 1 is for local currency as per IFRS GAAP, that is this one. So 10, I'm defining one depreciation area. So just come here, click on this, give a short description. I'll say book depreciation LC. Give the accounting principle. So So the accounting principle that I've defined for my US GAAP is T200. If we go further down, select that and just press enter. Only just remember that only book depreciation will be posting it. Just select area post in real time and just click on save. Click on yes. Just go back one step. Select this one and click on copy as. So what I'm trying to do is now I've created one depreciation area for this combination of currency, and now I'll create two more depreciation areas for Euro and USD. So just come here, give a 10. You can give any book. I mean, you don't have to give 2, 3, 4. You can give any 2-digit number. So I'm giving 10 here, and I'll say this as book depreciation in group currency as per IFRS GAAP. Let's say insert IFRS GAAP. Book dip. I'm just giving a short description. Press enter. Click on this. Select area does not post. So the reason why I'm selecting area does not post, that only your book depreciation will be posted in our books of accounts, and these values, whatever you see, that's group currency, and it will inherit. I mean, it will get these values from 0, 1. So that's the reason I'm selecting area do not post. We'll see that step in next configuration settings. So press enter. Click on save. You just change the discharge. Okay, T200. Click on save. Let's go back one step. So we have now another depreciation area. Just click on this and copy as, and give 20. You can give any 2-digit character. So I'm giving 1, 10, 20 for this one, and this is hard currency, HARD, hard currency as per IFRS GAAP, and similarly book depreciation hard currency IF. Just click on save. So in this case, I've created one depreciation area for each of these currencies. That is, I have local currency, group currency, and hard currency. And 0 is the leading ledger, because I've specified here that 0 is the leading ledger for my accounting principle T200. So you can see 0L as the ledger group and accounting principle as T200. And now what I'm doing is that I will create another 3 depreciation areas for local GAAP. That is, as per your Indian GAAP, I have to report my depreciation values. So I will create again 3 more depreciation areas. So just select this, click on copy as, give 30, and here change the description as Indian GAAP, INDI. And give the accounting principle as T100, and just click on save. Select this and again click on copy as. I will give 32. It's not that, I mean, you can just give any 2-digit number. I will say hard currency. Select area does not post. Click on save. So I've created 2, and the last one would be, click on copy, 35. group currency. Which is this one? Currency. Let's click on save. So you can see we have. Okay, let me just change this group. Let's click on. So the first step is I have created 6 depreciation areas because I have 3 currencies and 2 accounting principles. So for each of these currencies, I have created I've created one depreciation area. So 110 and 20 are for your IFRS GAAP, and 30, 32 and 35 are for your Indian GAAP. So only you have to select only you have to select one depreciation area as area post in real time, because these two values, that is 10 and 20, will receive the values, will inherit the values from 0 1. Similarly, 30 I've set as area post in real time because 32 and 35 it will get the values from depreciation area 30. So just remember that only one depreciation area we can post it, and the rest of the depreciation is whatever defined, it will inherit or it will get its values from the main depreciation. Click on save. Go specify the description. So I'm just going T700, press enter, and giving the chart of depreciation as chart of depreciation. Click on save. Go back one step. Go to the next step is to specify transfer APC values. In this step, what we specify is that whenever you buy an asset, how the values has to be transferred. That is, whenever I post a depreciation, whenever I buy an asset, how the 10 and 20, because what I said that 10 and 20 will receive its values always from 0 1, and for 30 whatever the entries we post, it will receive the values from 32 and 35. So so here in this step I'm specifying that whenever I posting an asset 0 at 0 1 or 30, 10 and 20 will receive values from 0 1, and 32 and 35, that is book depreciation group currency and hard currency, will receive its values from 30. So what I will do is that I will come here and I'll specify 0 1. By default it specifies 0 1, but if it's not specified, you have to specify 0 1 for both. 0 1 means this one. So 10 and 20 will receive its values from 0 1. So that's the reason by default it's there 0 1, but if it's not there, you have to maintain it. And similarly for 30, I'll put blank, that is it will receive its values. We'll be posting the values, and later 32 and 32 will receive its values from 30. So you have to put, let me delete it, 30 and 30. Just click on save. What I'm specifying to system is that whenever I'm posting an asset, 0 1, based on whatever the entries you post, the values will get updated. But for 10 and 20, it should get its values from 0 1. So that's the reason I'm specifying 0 1 here. Then similarly for 32 and 35, I'm specifying that it should get values from 30. That is, whatever I posted in local currency, the system should convert that value into group currency and hard currency and show me the values in under charter depreciation area 32 and 35. And similarly, whatever I posted in book depreciation in local currency, for 10 and 20, it should inherit its values from 0 1, and it should show me the values. And select this identical option, that is for these two and for these two, you have to select this identical are there in local currency, the same values will be always reflected in group currency. Only the exchange difference would differ, but it will always inherit the values from 0 1. So always put 0 1 here, and always put 0 1. In case of this depreciation area, and in case 30, if you have defined any other depreciation area, for example you have defined 40, then here you have to specify 40 40. Since I have specified that my book depreciation is 30, that is this is the depreciation area that will post in real time. So that's the reason. For other reasons, for the depreciation area like 32 and 35, and specifying that it should inherit, that it should get its values from 30. So that's the reason I'm putting it here 30. Let me open one more screen. Probably that might help you to understand better. SPRO, IMG, Financial Accounting, Asset Accounting. Area posted real time, so I'm specifying that this is the 0 1. So I'm specifying that whatever I posted it, the values for 10 and 20, it should always refer to 0 1. So that's the reason I'm specified 0 1 here. And I specified identical means whatever the values are posted here, only the exchange the same values will be reflected here in your group currency and hard currency, but the exchange rate, it will take into consideration only the exchange rate. So that's the reason I've selected this identical. Similarly for 30, see if here 30 I specified area posted real time, so that's the reason I specified blank here. And 32 and 35, it will receive its values from 30. So since 30 is here, so I mentioned 30 and 30 here. In case you have created depreciation area with 40, we'll be specifying 40 and 40 here. So main depreciation area would be 0, and the rest of the depreciation it will inherit, or it will get its values from the main depreciation area, that is from 0 1 and 30. So just ensure that you select 0 1. In case of 30, since I have created 30, I'm mentioning 30, but if you have created any other with any 2-digit character with a different name, you have to specify that, and always select this identical. Just click on save. We'll understand better once I post an entry. Then you will see that we'll be posting only values in our in 0 1, and system will automatically calculate values for 10 and 20 because of this setting, because we have said that it should inherit its values from 0 1, and also specifying that should be identical, so that users will not be able to do any changes. And that's the reason I'm putting this identical checkbox. So just go back one step, and similarly transfer of depreciation terms. So here in this case what I'm specifying, similarly whenever the system is computing depreciation, it should always inherit values from 0 1 in case of 10 and 20, and similarly in case of 30, it should 32 and 35 should inherit the values from 30 in case of 0 1 and 0 1. It means the same thing. In case of depreciation terms, it should inherit, that is whatever the depreciation terms I have specified, it should always refer to 0 1. So therefore there is I have specified 0 1, and here I will specify 30. That is whatever the depreciation terms are as specified in 30, it should inherit 32 and 35 should inherit the values from 30. So that's the reason specified here, and select these again the same identical checkbox, and just click on save. In this case, this is depreciation terms, that is whatever the rate of depreciation is there, whatever is specified, the same would be applied for 10 and 20. So that's the reason I specified here. In the previous step I specified that whenever we acquire asset, it should inherit the values. In this step I'm specifying that whatever the depreciation terms, that is if I specify that the rate of depreciation is 10%, so once the system is calculating depreciation 10%, will also apply for your group currency as well as your hard currency. So that's the reason specified identical option, and it would inherit the values based on your main depreciation, that is 0 1. So just remember that for APC and for depreciation terms, you have to specify from based on which values it is the 10 and 20 will get, and for in the other case 30, it will get the values from 32 and 35. So that's the reason I specified 30 here and 0 1 here, and just click this identical checkbox. Always click on save. Just go back one step, Now we will specify the currencies. So come down to currencies. Define specify use of parallel currencies. Just click on this one. You can see that whatever the depreciation keys we have defined, here you have to specify the here we have to specify the currencies. Nowhere in my previous steps I have not specified the currencies here. For example, if I go back here, I have nowhere specified the currencies. So here we and what is 32 and 35. So here I just come back. Here come I will say company code currency. Where is 00? Sorry, 01 is my by default my company code currency. 10 is my group currency, so I'll select group currency here, and 20 I'll select my hard currency. And similarly here also I'll do the same thing. I'll select group currency and hard currency. Press enter and click on save. So now here in this step you specify 10 is 01 is by default your company currency. For 10 I'm specifying 30 here. If I go back here, let me show that also. The 0 company code settings. Go to T600. My company code is T600. So you can see here 30 and 40. So same thing. I have specified group currency as 30 and 40 as my hard currency. Similarly for here I specified 30 and 40. For this one, this would be my company currency. So this is the reason is graded out. You cannot give it the currencies. So what are the currencies as specified my leading ledger and against my company code? 30 and 40. You can see the same thing here. In asset accounting, I'm specifying here. I'm coming to this step and specifying 32. Specifying 10 represents which currency and 20 represents which currency. So based on the currencies you map, you will be able to see the values in that currency. So I've done this step also. Once I go back and just click on this define depreciation areas for foreign currencies. Okay. You're not able to find our company code here because I've not assigned my chart of depreciation to my company code. So once I define that and when I come back, you'll be able to see the currency details here. So let's first do that. So first step is we have created the chart of depreciation. We have deleted the unnecessary chart of depreciation and we have created our own chart of depreciation based on the accounting principle and the currencies. Second step, we defined the APC values. That is how the APC is nothing but acquisition production cost. So whatever the assets we are acquiring, how that has to be integrated, how that value has to be updated. So that we specified. Third step is specified that how the depreciation has to be updated. That is how the depreciation has to be inherited for other depreciation areas. So that step we did, and later we specified the currencies. Now the next step is, before we assign the chart of depreciation to our company code, we have to define, create. We have to do this step: assign input tax indicator for non-tax acquisitions. For example, if I go and try to assign now, if I come here and assign my chart of depreciation, we'll get an error message. For example, if I go here and give T600, and if I try to assign T700, click on save. Okay, data was saved. Okay, let me check. Probably I've already created that chart. Okay, let me do this. I'll remove this because yesterday when I did so I did that config. So if I come here, if I try to assign chart of depreciation, it will give me a warning message. For example, T600. I'll remove this. Control save. And if I try to assign it one more time, it says input tax code for non-taxable transaction for company code is missing. So once you are done with this, you have to create this, you have to do this in this mapping also, input tax for non-taxable transactions. So what you have to do is that first you have to create two tax codes using transaction code FTXP, which we have covered in our tax and sales purchases. So you have to create two tax codes, zero tax codes, that is A0 and V0, any two-digit number. So I've created this 0% input tax code here, and similarly A0 output tax code with 0%. So once you create those two tax codes, you have to come to this step and you have to assign this. So this is the third step, assign input tax to non-taxable transactions. Come to your company code T600 and give this V0 and A0. So if you don't do that, you will not be able to assign your chart of depreciation. So now you will be able to assign your chart of depreciation to your company code. So now come here, click on this chart of depreciation, click on this position and click on save. Assign your chart of depreciation. So to create a chart for so just remember that the first step is we have to copy a chart of depreciation. You cannot create a chart of depreciation. So the first step is we'll be copying the chart of depreciation. Chart of depreciation is always country specific, always created this at the and always define the country level. That is, SAP has given a list of chart of depreciation for each of those countries, and you can use that chart of depreciation. You can copy it and you can modify it as per your requirement. So the first step is copy reference, then we delete depreciation areas which are there, we have deleted it, and again I've created my own chart of depreciation. That is, for each, since I have two accounting principles and three currencies, I've defined 6. That is one currency for each for each one currency and one combination accounting principle. You have to do that. So that's the reason you can see for since I'm using three currencies for and one accounting principle, like for IFRS GAAP I've defined 3, and similarly for Indian GAAP I've defined 3. Always you have to select only book depreciation, whatever the book depreciation defined in local currency. For that only you have to select this area post in real time. Only just remember, only book depreciation local currency, that is your company code currency or local currency, whatever defined. Only for that chart of depreciation you have to select this area post in real time, and for others you always select area does not post, and second, and area does not post. And whenever and later what we specify that 0 1, whatever the values was posted in 0 1, 10 and 20 will inherit. So how we are, go back here, where was that step? Uh, yeah, specify transfer APC values. That is, whenever I'm acquiring an asset, I'm specifying that whatever the values are there in 0 1, it should 10 and 20 should inherit it values from 0 1, and for 30, since I'm posting in since I have to show my values in Indian GAAP also, I'm specifying that 32 and 35 in group and hard, it should hard currency, it should inherit, it should take its values from 30. So whenever I post asset acquire an asset, it will get updated in 0 1 and 30, and later 10 and 20 and 32 and 35 will get it values from 0 1 and 30. So that's the reason I'm selected as and also a specified identical. Identical in the means that whatever the values are there in local currency, the same value will get updated in group currency, but only the exchange rate will differ. For example, in INR it would be 100, but when it comes in USD it will be 100 into 70, 700. So here you will see the value is 700. In case of euro, if you whatever the exchange rate applies, you're going to update it. But apart from that, user will not be able to do any changes because of select this identical option. So this is whenever I'm acquiring asset, this configuration will come into the picture. And similarly when I'm computing the depreciation, this configuration will come into picture. That is 10 and 20 will always get values from 0 1, and 32 and 35 will always get values from 30. That is whatever the depreciation terms are specified. In case I have specified 10%, the system would compute 10% here, and the same value will be get updated in group currency and hard currency. Only the exchange rate difference in this. In 30, if I specified the rate of depreciation is 20%, the system would compute that value, and the same value will appear in 32 and 35. Only the exchange rate difference would be applied. I mean, there will be no change. It will just compute the exchange rate and will update the values. The users will not be able to do any changes because I have specified this identical, and also specified that it should inherit. It should always get the values from 30. That is my uh, local currency in Indian gap. Local currency IFRS gap. So for other currencies, other represented areas, it should always get it values from 0 1, and in case of 30, 32 and 35, it will always get the values from 30. So this step also we did it, and later we specified the currencies. That is, if I go here, I specified that 10 represents group currency, and 20 represents 40 hard currency, and similarly I specified 32 represents group currency, and 35 whatever defined I specified 40 as the hard currency. And if I go back one step and if I click on this define depreciation areas for foreign currencies, now you can see for T600, once we assign the chart of depreciation, this will be automatically updated. Now click on this depreciation area currencies. Now you can see the currencies here. So 01 is my INR, that's my local euro, because I specified group currency as my euro. Hard currency I specified as 20. That's the reason it's picking up USD. Similarly, 30. The 30 again is my local currency, that is INR. That is my company code currency. 32 and 35 are my group and hard currencies. So here you can see in better in detail whatever the currency you specified automatically are updated here. You don't have to come and change it based on your previous configuration settings that we did in previous steps. Based on that, you are able to see all the currencies. The 01 by default will come based because my company code currency is INR, so that's the reason it came default. In the previous steps I specified 30 as my group currency, that's the reason it just picked up euro, and I specified 40 as my hard currency, that's the reason USD is coming. So if I specified any other, and yeah, so this is the basic steps which we did. Now we'll be creating the asset classes. So this is the basic steps which we did, and next step is we have done the organization structure. Now we'll be doing this integration with asset account with general ledger accounting, and we'll be doing this. Where is this? 1 minute. Asset class. So we have defined the depreciation areas. The next step is asset class. So asset class is nothing but grouping of similar assets under one head. For example, let's take a building. I will create building as one asset class, and what are the assets that I've created, like factory building or office building, that asset, whenever I'm creating that asset, I will always create with reference to asset class. So as one head. So whenever you're creating an asset master, for example, if I go to AS01, is a transaction to create an asset master. So whenever I'm creating an asset master, So whenever whenever I create an asset master, I have to specify the asset class. So it's not just remember that asset class is nothing but you are grouping all your assets, all your similar assets under one head. That is, we'll have if you're creating, for example, take as vehicles. Vehicles will be an asset class, and whenever you're creating any bought any lorry or a bus for your transporting your goods, then you have to specify the vehicles. Here, for example, when I'm creating an asset, you have to specify an asset class. So based on this asset class, you'll be creating an asset. So this is the asset master record. So asset class is nothing but grouping of similar assets under one hand. If I go here, if I show you the configuration, go back here. See here, we have asset class like machinery, furniture and fittings, vehicles. So whenever you're creating computer hardware, so whenever you're creating any equipment, I will be giving the asset class as machinery and equipment. So that at one go I can see all my assets, the acquisition cost, the actual values, the depreciation values, and for all the assets that are categorized under machinery. So it's nothing but groupings. It's similar to what account group. So that is, we have created account group like current assets where we are clubbing all our current assets. So similarly, I'm creating an account group called as asset class where I can see all my assets, all my furniture and fixed assets only. I'm creating one asset group, an accounting group like vehicles, where I can see all my assets relating to vehicles. So it's just similar to our account group. So so the next step is defining the asset class. To define an asset class, we have to define the account determination, the screen layout, and the numberage interval. So once we create these three steps, then only we can create the asset class. If I go to asset class and if I click on new entries, it will ask you for account determination, screen layout, and number ranges. Account determination, screen layout, and number ranges. So first we have to define the account determination. Then we'll be able to come to asset class. So first we'll do we'll create the account determination and then we will come back to asset class. So just remember, asset class is nothing but grouping of similar assets under one head. And whenever you create an asset like in a building, you have to specify an asset class. Without this, the system will not allow you to create an asset class. So we'll see now the asset class part. So first click on the specify account determination. I will have three assets. One is okay. We'll have buildings, vehicles, and plant and machinery. Buildings, vehicles, and plant and machinery. Let me create one. My company code is T, so you can give any can give any 4-digit character. I'll say T100 account determination for buildings, T2000 for vehicles and T3000 if you want, you can create a lot many. But again, this information would come from the business. They will specify how many asset classes they want to how many asset classes they want to have and how they want to club those assets. So based on that, you'll be creating this account. They'll be creating the asset classes. Account determination is nothing but based in later steps. So we'll be linking this our account determination to our GL accounts. That is, whenever you post an asset master data, Based on this account determination only, our GL accounts gets updated. It's similar to a reconciliation account. That is, whenever we created BP master data, that is a customer or a vendor, we linked up the reconciliation account, and based on the reconciliation account, the GL accounts were updated. So similarly, in asset accounting, based on this account determination, your GL accounts gets updated. So I'm not at specified GL account. So first I'm just creating what you call an so I've just created a dummy one, that is a variant with account references T100, T2000 and T3000. So T1000 will refers to buildings, T2000 refers to vehicles, and T3000 refers to plant and machinery. Just click on save, go back one step and come to screen layout rules. Screen layout rules is nothing but similar to our field status group. So in field status group, we have to control which fields are required optional display. So similarly in asset master record, we'll have this screen layout rules. So just create 3 more screen layout rules. Change is there. I'll just create 3. And T300. We'll specify the values later. So just creating a variant, and values will be assigned later. So just say clean screen layout for your buildings. Okay. Buildings, vehicles, and plant and machinery. Press enter, click on save. We'll be assigning the values later. So first we have to define it, and the next configuration steps will be assigning the values. So to define an asset class, we have to specify account determination, screen layout, and number ranges. So now click on this number ranges. Number range is nothing but whenever you're creating an asset, so you have to specify a number range. So here I'm specifying the same thing. So click on T100, click on this change icon. Sorry, my complete, yeah, T600. Click on this change icon. On this plus this insert icon, I'll give 0 1. I'll say 1 to 99. Press enter. 0 to 100 to 199. Because of 3 asset classes, the 3 assets, so I'm creating 3 account number ranges for each different class. Click on 03 and spend 200 to 299. Just click on just come back one step. So to define an asset class, we needed the screen layout, number ranges, and account determination. So we have created the 3. Account determination is used for your updation of GL accounts. So later in few next configuration steps, we'll be linking our GL accounts. So just we have created a variant. Similarly, we have created screen layout rules. Screen layout rules nothing for controlling what fields are required, optional, and display when you create a variant, but in the later steps we'll be assigning the values. And similarly, third step, I've defined number range interval. That is, whenever you create an asset, what number range should the system pick up. So I've created these 3 different things, and now I'll go to asset class. So click on this asset class, click on new entries. You can give any 4-digit character. Give T100 asset class for okay. buildings. Copy the same thing, put it here, the short text based on your requirement. Select the account determination which you have defined in the previous steps. Go down. Similarly, select the screen layout tools which you have defined it. And give the number ranges. Say Ctrl F. Give a company code. Select this one. I'm selecting, I've created 01 is for assets, so is for buildings. That is, whenever creating an asset with building, it's gonna pick up this number range. Just click on save. Go back one step. Select this one and click on copy as. Just change the description. Click on vehicles. So vehicles, come here. Say Ctrl F. I'm specifying that 02, that is whenever I'm creating an asset, vehicles, any asset with reference to vehicles, it should pick up this number in 02. Just click on save. Go back one step and click and just again do the same thing. Copy as. Click on T300 and give us. So I'm done with vehicles, buildings, and now it's plant and machinery. Just change that. So the screen layout, and you can put the same number range, but or you can give 03, or you can do the same thing. Say Ctrl F, give your company code, and now select the number range, and just click on save. So today, what we did is we created the chart of depreciation. We have assigned the currencies. We have assigned our chart of depreciation to our company code, and then we have created the asset classes. Asset class is nothing but group. To define asset class, we have to define the account determination, the number range, and the screen layout. And later we define the asset class. So asset class is nothing but grouping of similar assets under. Whenever you create an asset master record, you have to create it with reference to an asset class. And to define asset class, you have to define the account determination, screen layout, and the number ranges. Number range is nothing but whenever you create an asset master record, this is the number range that gets picked up. And screen layout rule is nothing but whenever you create an asset master record, what field should be required, optional display, we specify through screen layout rules. And account determination is nothing but based on what are the GL accounts you specify in account determination, based on as well as what are the entries you post in asset accounting, that gets updated based on this account determination. So account determination is linked between your asset master record and your general ledger. So we'll stop it today here. We'll continue tomorrow, because tomorrow we'll see the other configuration steps. Try to if you have system, then try to practice till asset class, and if you have any questions, then you can get back to me. Tomorrow we'll create the GL accounts, we'll do that mapping, and we'll try to see the other configuration steps like and depreciation keys, how we can create the depreciation keys, and how we have to link up this GL accounts, all that stuff. So till now we have covered only we have created now is chart of depreciation. We have assigned the chart of depreciation to our company code, and then steps which we have done as of now. We'll stop it here and we'll continue tomorrow. Any questions in today's class, whatever we covered? It would be new, but this is how the set accounting works in S4HANA. We'll see until the end how, I mean, once you see the end result, you will be able to understand in a better way. These are the basic configuration steps that we have to do with respect to our asset accounting. I'll be also sharing the document. I've not yet prepared it. Once we see the entire output, I will be sharing that document with you all here. So there are around 30 steps. We have just covered till now for asset accounting. We have just covered now till let me just 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have defined up till 13 steps you have created it. So we have another 17 steps we have to do. So once we do the 17 steps, we'll be able to see the output in asset accounting. So hopefully this weekend we'll be able to complete the asset accounting part. Yeah. So any questions on whatever we covered today?
No.
Just try to just remember that whenever you're creating a chart of depreciation in S4HANA, based on your currencies and your accounting principles. So if you create it less than that, you'll always get an error message when you're trying to assign your chart of depreciation to your company code. So you can create and you can just check the error message. I mean, if you create less number when you're trying to assign chart of depreciation, you'll get an error message. And always remember that the other depreciation areas like the group currency or the hard currencies, it will always inherit, that is, will always get it values from your company code currency, that is from 0 1, whatever the depreciation area you have defined as post in real time, that from that only it will always get the values. So that's the reason we in the other steps we specified that for 32 and 30, I mean for the other depreciation areas, it should inherit the values depreciation areas. So just remember that because once you see the output, you will be able to understand better. But that is the main configuration steps. In interview also they will ask how the values will get updated for other depreciation areas. Then you should say that in one of the configuration steps we specify the depreciation areas, how the depreciation area should inherit its values from the other depreciation areas. So based on that, the depreciation as well as the acquisition, that is whenever you buy an asset, the values will always be inherited. You can say inherited, or you can say that it will get the values from the main depreciation areas. And similarly for depreciation terms, what are the depreciation terms we specified for our main depreciation area, that is 0 1 and 30, it will this other depreciation areas will in session. We'll see that when we post an asset and we can see those values. But from theory point, if someone asks, this is how it's gonna work. We'll stop here and we will continue tomorrow at the same time at 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks all. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.